Imagine walking into a room and someone deliberately undermines you. They speak harshly, dismiss your ideas, or treat you like you don't matter. Many of us smile through it, laugh it off, not politely trying to keep peace. But deep down, your heart is saying, "This isn't right. Why do we tolerate disrespect? Why do we cover our pain with a polite smile?" Today, I want to tell you that God has created you with dignity, with self-respect, and with a light that cannot be dimmed by anyone's disrespect. Smiling through disrespect may keep the world comfortable, but it dims your soul's power. The moment you embrace your worth and stand tall, not with anger, but with grace and self-respect, the world begins to treat you differently. This is not about retaliation. It's about understanding the divine truth that your soul is sacred. Your self-worth is not measured by how others treat you, but by how you honor yourself. Today, we will explore 7 truths that will empower you to stop smiling through disrespect and begin living with quiet strength, courage, and spiritual wisdom. Every human being carries within them a spark of the divine. That spark is your essence, your soul, the part of you that no one can touch, no one can diminish, and no one can take away. Yet, how often do we forget this truth the moment someone disrespects us? How often do we shrink, smile politely, or convince ourselves that it's better to remain quiet rather than confront the disrespect? The first step to transforming your life is to recognize your divine worth. God has created you with dignity, with purpose, with an innate value that is unshakable. Understanding this is the foundation of a life lived with courage and self-respect. Think about it in practical terms. Imagine a young woman at her workplace. She contributes ideas in a meeting, and a colleague dismisses her with a sarcastic comment. Many of us would smile awkwardly, trying not to make a scene, hoping the moment passes. But pause for a second and realize this: your worth is not determined by their opinion, their sarcasm, or their attempt to belittle you. You are not what others think of you. You are what God has created you to be. That colleague's disrespect reflects their limitations, not your value. Your essence, your light, is untouched by their smallness. The truth is, recognizing your divine worth is a practice. It's a conscious decision you make every single day. It starts in small moments, when someone interrupts you rudely on the street, when a friend belittles your dream, when a family member dismisses your feelings. Each of these moments is a test, an opportunity to anchor yourself in your intrinsic value. Instead of lowering your self-esteem to match their attitude, remind yourself silently, "I am a creation of God. My worth is unshakable. Their words do not define me." Consider a simple example from daily life. A child is learning to ride a bicycle, and people around laugh at their clumsy attempts. The child falls, scrapes a knee, yet they keep trying. Why? Because somewhere inside, they trust their ability to succeed. That same trust is what you must cultivate for your self-worth. God has placed within you a unique purpose, a combination of talents, experiences, and heart that no one else possesses. Disrespect may come, failures may happen, and people may doubt you, but your core remains precious and intact. Recognizing your worth also changes how you interact with the world. When you know your value, you stop seeking validation from others. You no longer smile through disrespect to keep the peace or to avoid conflict. Instead, you act with quiet confidence. You set boundaries naturally, without aggression, because you understand that your dignity is sacred. When someone insults your work, you respond with calm assertiveness. When someone undermines your feelings, you protect your heart with gentle firmness. This is the power of recognizing divine worth. It frees you from the chains of approval seeking and allows you to live authentically. There is a profound spiritual truth here. God does not create anything without purpose. Every flaw you perceive in yourself is merely a perspective, not a limitation. Every strength you underestimate is a gift waiting to be realized. By acknowledging your divine worth, you align yourself with this truth. You begin to see disrespect not as a judgment of your value, but as a reflection of the other person's journey. Their inability to honor you does not take away from the beauty and importance of your own soul. Let's bring this closer to life. Think of a teacher who encourages a student despite repeated mistakes. They see the potential, the spark within, rather than the errors. God sees you the same way. Even when others fail to honor you, even when the world seems harsh, the divine recognizes your brilliance. When you internalize this, your confidence becomes unshakable. You no longer tolerate disrespect silently, nor do you react in anger. You stand grounded in the truth of your creation, that you are sacred, worthy, and capable of extraordinary things. Finally, recognizing your divine worth is not arrogance. It is awareness. It is understanding that your soul is a temple, and no one has the right to desecrate it. It is living with the clarity that respect begins within, with yourself, and flows outward naturally. When you honor your own worth, others begin to honor it too, not because you demand it, but because the light of self-respect shines so brightly that it cannot be ignored. So, the next time someone disrespects you, pause, take a deep breath, remind yourself quietly, firmly, and powerfully, I am a child of the universe. I am created by God with infinite value. No one can diminish me unless I allow it. That awareness transforms not only your response but your life. It plants a seed of strength, courage, and dignity that grows with every challenge, every insult, and every moment of doubt. And slowly, steadily, you become unshakable. Not because the world has changed, but because you finally see your divine worth. Emotional awareness is one of the most powerful tools God has given us, yet it is often overlooked. Many of us go through life reacting to circumstances without truly understanding what we are feeling or why. When someone disrespects us, our first instinct is often to smile awkwardly, suppress our irritation, or even pretend it didn't affect us. But what we fail to recognize is that by ignoring or suppressing our emotions, we give away the control over our inner world. God has given us emotions as signals, as a language of the soul, guiding us to what is true, what matters, and what we must honor within ourselves. Imagine a man at work who is constantly belittled by his manager. Every time the manager criticizes him unfairly, he forces a polite smile, thinking it is the safe reaction. But inside, anger simmers, frustration builds, and self-doubt begins to creep in. Over time, this suppressed emotional energy affects not only his confidence, but also his mental clarity, his focus, and even his physical health. This is why emotional awareness is so critical. It allows us to observe our feelings without being controlled by them. It is a divine skill to distinguish between what is happening outside and how we choose to respond from within. Being emotionally aware starts with acknowledgement. When someone disrespects you, pause and allow yourself to feel the emotion fully. Recognize the hurt, the disappointment, or even the anger. Do not judge yourself for feeling this way. These emotions are not weaknesses. They are signals from your soul, gently reminding you that your dignity is being challenged. God has placed this inner compass in you to protect your sacred self. By ignoring it, you deny yourself the opportunity to respond consciously, to transform a moment of pain into a moment of growth. Let's bring this to a simple daily example. Think of a parent whose child talks back rudely. If the parent reacts immediately with anger or dismisses their own hurt by saying, "It's fine, he's just a child," they miss the chance to teach and guide effectively. But if the parent pauses, feels their initial emotions, and then responds from a place of awareness and wisdom, the situation transforms. The child learns boundaries, the parent maintains integrity, and the exchange becomes a lesson in respect and emotional intelligence. This same principle applies to adults in professional, social, and personal settings. Emotional awareness also involves understanding the difference between feelings and actions. You may feel anger, frustration, or sadness, but these emotions do not have to dictate your response. God has endowed you with the capacity to pause, reflect, and act consciously. This pause is the space where true power resides. The ability to choose a response aligned with your values, not your temporary emotional reaction. Someone might disrespect you, insult your work, or belittle your opinion, but if you respond from awareness rather than reflex, you communicate strength, dignity, and inner control. Consider another example from daily life. A friend shares something hurtful, perhaps unintentionally, but it strikes a nerve. Many people either retaliate immediately or bury the emotion and pretend nothing happened. Both reactions carry consequences. The first escalates conflict, the second builds resentment. Emotional awareness allows you to feel the hurt, process it, and then decide how to address it, whether by calmly expressing your feelings, setting a boundary, or simply letting it go with grace. This practice aligns with the divine teaching that your inner state is more powerful than external circumstances. Emotional awareness also strengthens relationships and cultivates compassion. When you understand your own emotions, you become more sensitive to the emotions of others. You begin to see that disrespect, rudeness, or criticism often stems from their limitations, fears, or insecurities. By observing without reacting impulsively, you maintain your peace and extend understanding, not because you condone their behavior, but because you honor your own divine integrity. This is a reflection of God's wisdom to rise above temporary turbulence and remain anchored in eternal values. Moreover, emotional awareness is transformative for self-growth. Each time someone disrespects you, you have an opportunity to learn more about yourself. Why did this particular comment hurt you more than others? What patterns are emerging in your reactions? By paying attention to your emotions, you become a student of your own soul. You cultivate resilience, patience, and clarity. Over time, this practice turns you into a person who can face disrespect with calmness, confidence, and a deep sense of self-respect. Ultimately, emotional awareness is about reclaiming your power. God has given you emotions not to enslave you, but to guide you toward conscious living. When you are aware, you stop being a passive participant in your life. You stop reacting automatically to every disrespect or insult. Instead, you respond with insight, grace, and self-assuredness. Emotional awareness allows you to transform moments of disrespect into opportunities for spiritual strength, personal growth, and inner peace. So the next time someone disrespects you, pause. Feel the ripple of emotion that rises within you. Acknowledge it, observe it, and choose your response consciously. In this practice, you honor yourself, honor the divine within, and step into a life where your inner peace and dignity are never compromised. When you embrace emotional awareness, you step into the truth that your soul is sovereign, your spirit is strong, and your response is always your own sacred choice. Boundaries are one of the most misunderstood yet powerful expressions of self. Respect. Many of us feel guilty when we set limits, as though saying no or asserting our dignity is somehow selfish. Yet the truth is, God has placed within each of us a sacred space, our mind, our heart, our soul, that deserves protection. Setting boundaries is not about arrogance. It is about honoring the divine presence within ourselves. It is a declaration that your worth is sacred and no one has the right to diminish it. Consider a simple daily example. A friend constantly borrows your time and energy without consideration. At first you smile, nod politely, and agree, thinking that maintaining harmony is more important than your own comfort. Over time, however, the constant giving without reciprocation drains your energy, breeds resentment, and diminishes your joy. This is why boundaries are essential. They protect your peace, your energy, and your dignity. God has gifted you with the wisdom to recognize when something or someone encroaches upon your sacred space, and with the courage to act in alignment with your worth. Boundaries also teach others how to treat us. Imagine a workplace where a colleague constantly interrupts or dismisses your contributions. If you accept it silently, they may continue unaware of the impact of their behavior. But when you calmly assert yourself, I appreciate your input, but please allow me to finish my point. You communicate that your time, voice, and ideas are valuable. Boundaries are not confrontational, they are instructive. They help others understand the respect you deserve and encourage them to engage with you consciously. Setting boundaries requires self-awareness. You cannot protect what you do not know. Take a moment in your daily life to reflect. What situations drain my energy? What behaviors make me feel diminished? What interactions leave me anxious or resentful? By observing these patterns, you create a map of your limits, what is acceptable and what is not. This practice aligns perfectly with divine wisdom. God wants you to honor yourself, to recognize that your soul is sacred, and to live in harmony with your values rather than being swayed by the whims of others. Let's consider a family scenario. A relative constantly criticizes your life choices. Many of us respond with polite smiles, nods, or avoidance. While this may keep the peace temporarily, it silently erodes self-esteem and confidence. A boundary in this context might look like this: I respect your opinion, but I have chosen this path, and I would appreciate your support rather than criticism. Such a statement, delivered calmly and firmly, is not disrespectful. It is a reflection of your inner strength and recognition of your divine worth. By setting boundaries, you honor your soul while encouraging others to engage with you respectfully. Boundaries also serve as a protective shield against emotional manipulation. In daily life, we often encounter people who use guilt, fear, or pressure to bend us to their will. God has not created you to be controlled by others. By setting clear, compassionate boundaries, you reclaim your autonomy. You communicate that while you are kind, generous, and loving, your energy and peace are not unlimited resources to be taken for granted. This distinction transforms the way people interact with you. They learn to respect you because you respect yourself. It is important to understand that boundaries are not walls. They do not isolate you or prevent meaningful connection. Instead, they create space for authentic relationships where interactions are based on mutual respect, honesty, and care. Consider friendships in your life. Those who honor your boundaries remain connected and engaged, while those who continually violate them may drift away. This natural process, though sometimes painful, is necessary. God allows these experiences to teach us that not all connections are meant to stay, but the ones that do are strengthened by respect and conscious understanding. Another everyday example can be seen in professional settings. A boss assigns unrealistic tasks with little consideration for your capacity. Many employees silently complain, believing this is expected or fearing backlash. However, by calmly communicating your limits, I am committed to delivering quality work, but this timeline may compromise the outcome. Can we adjust priorities? You assert your professional integrity without confrontation. This is the essence of setting boundaries, acting from a place of awareness, not fear, with respect for yourself and others. Finally, setting boundaries is a spiritual act. It is a reflection of your reverence for the divine within you. God has not placed you on this earth to be diminished, exploited, or treated with indifference. Each boundary you set is a statement of faith in your own worth, a recognition of your sacredness, and a commitment to living in alignment with your values. Boundaries teach patience, courage, and self-respect. They allow you to navigate life gracefully, protecting your peace while inspiring others to honor their own divine worth. So, as you move through your day, remember these boundaries are not limitations, they are liberations. They free you from compromise that diminishes your soul. They teach others the respect you deserve. And above all, they remind you of a profound truth. You are a creation of God, sacred and worthy, and your time, energy, and dignity are gifts that must be honored first by you. When you embrace this, your life transforms. You no longer smile silently through disrespect. You stand tall, firmly rooted in the awareness that your soul is inviolable, guided by divine wisdom, and deserving of honor in every interaction. True strength is often misunderstood. Many people equate strength with aggression, with loud reactions, or with the ability to overpower others. Yet, God has shown us that the most profound strength lies not in force, but in grace. When someone disrespects you, your initial instinct may be to react with anger, to retaliate, or to prove yourself. While these reactions may bring a temporary sense of satisfaction, they do not cultivate lasting respect or inner peace. Responding with grace rather than anger is the hallmark of spiritual maturity, self-awareness, and personal power. Imagine a situation in your daily life. You are in traffic and someone cuts you off rudely. Your immediate reaction is irritation. Your heart races and your mind screams. You have a choice. Do you honk aggressively, shout, or curse, letting anger control you? Or do you take a deep breath, smile inwardly, and allow the situation to pass without internal disturbance? Responding with grace in that moment doesn't make you weak. It demonstrates that your peace is greater than someone else's rudeness. It is a quiet victory over your own impulses, a reflection of the divine wisdom that God places within each of us. Consider a workplace scenario. A colleague undermines your presentation, dismisses your ideas, or makes a sarcastic remark in front of others. Reacting impulsively with anger might give a short-term emotional release, but it can harm your professional reputation and relationships. Instead, responding with calmness, clarity, and a dignified tone communicates power far more effectively. A simple response like, "I appreciate your perspective, and I would like to clarify my points," signals that you are in control, confident, and composed. People respect composure because it reflects self-mastery, a quality that is inherently linked to recognizing the divine presence within oneself. Responding with grace also sets a tone for others. When you respond calmly, you break the cycle of negativity. God has shown us through countless examples that those who meet hostility with composure often transform conflicts into opportunities for understanding and growth. Think about spiritual leaders or wise individuals, people whose lives are marked by dignity. They are often confronted with criticism, disrespect, or provocation. Yet, they respond not from anger, but from awareness, embodying a presence that commands respect without force. This is the power you cultivate when you choose grace over aggression. Daily life provides many small yet significant opportunities to practice this principle. At home, a teenager may speak disrespectfully to a parent. Instead of shouting or imposing harsh punishment, a parent can pause, understand the underlying frustration, and respond with a measured explanation. This teaches the child respect, not through fear, but through example. Graceful responses educate, inspire, and elevate others while preserving your own peace and integrity. Another example comes from social interactions. Imagine attending a gathering where someone speaks ill of you or spreads rumors. The instinct may be to retaliate verbally or socially, yet responding with grace, acknowledging their words without reacting emotionally, demonstrates inner strength. It communicates that your value is not contingent on their opinion. Your dignity remains intact because it is rooted in the divine truth that God created you with inherent worth. Over time, people notice this composure and are drawn to it. They respect the calm, quiet strength that does not seek revenge but embodies righteousness. Responding with grace does not mean tolerating injustice or disrespect. It does not mean passivity. It is a conscious choice to respond in a way that preserves your dignity, teaches others the value of respect, and aligns with the higher truth within you. Grace is an active force. It is deliberate, thoughtful, and powerful. When you respond with grace, you are not reacting to the negativity of others. You are responding to the divine light within yourself, allowing it to guide your actions rather than letting temporary emotions control you. Even in moments of personal betrayal or deep insult, grace becomes transformative. Think of a situation where a friend betrays your trust. Immediate anger may feel justified, but responding with thoughtful calmness, perhaps by calmly expressing your hurt and setting clear boundaries, transforms a painful moment into a lesson in discernment and self-respect. This kind of response demonstrates that your self-worth and spiritual grounding are greater than any insult or betrayal. God has placed the ability to choose our reactions in our hands, and responding with grace reflects our conscious alignment with divine wisdom. Ultimately, responding with grace is an internal victory that externalizes power. It nurtures your soul, elevates your relationships, and inspires those around you. Each time you meet disrespect with calmness rather than fury, you grow stronger, more confident, and more aligned with the divine purpose within you. The world respects those who control themselves, and more importantly, God honors those who honor their own soul by acting with dignity, composure, and integrity. So, the next time someone disrespects you, pause. Take a deep breath. Feel the initial rush of anger, and then consciously choose a response rooted in grace. Let your calmness speak louder than their words. Let your dignity shine brighter than their attempt to diminish you. In doing so, you not only rise above the temporary turbulence of disrespect, but you also illuminate the path of inner strength, spiritual wisdom, and divine alignment for everyone who witnesses your response. Grace is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength that honors God, yourself, and the sacred light within you. Silence is often underestimated in a world that prizes loudness, instant reactions, and constant expression. Yet God has taught us that sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. When faced with disrespect, choosing silence is not weakness, it is strength. Silence allows your mind to remain clear, your heart to stay calm, and your soul to preserve its dignity. In moments of insult or provocation, the instinct is often to speak immediately, to defend, to justify, or to retaliate. But responding instantly can escalate the situation, cloud your judgment, and even compromise your peace. Learning to embrace silence transforms these moments into opportunities for reflection, composure, and spiritual growth. Imagine a daily life scenario. You are in a meeting at work, and a colleague publicly criticizes your idea, making a cutting remark. The natural impulse might be to snap back, to defend yourself, or to prove your worth on the spot. But by taking a pause, a moment of silence, you regain control of the situation. You observe not only the words, but the emotions they stir within you. Silence gives you the space to respond thoughtfully, rather than react impulsively. When you do speak, your words carry power, clarity, and purpose. God teaches us that a calm mind speaks more truth than a loud, reactive mouth. Silence also communicates strength to others. Think about it. A person who responds to disrespect with immediate anger often reveals inner turbulence. In contrast, someone who maintains composure, listens, and chooses carefully when to respond demonstrates confidence, self-respect, and mastery over their emotions. This is a subtle but profound lesson. A silence is not emptiness. It is presence, awareness, and control. People instinctively respect those who are grounded in themselves and do not give their energy away impulsively. Consider a common situation in personal relationships. Perhaps a family member or friend says something hurtful in a heated moment. Many react immediately, escalating conflict with harsh words or arguments. Yet, choosing silence allows you to process the emotion fully. You acknowledge your hurt without letting it control your behavior. Later, when you speak with clarity and calmness, your words have far more impact than if you had reacted in the heat of the moment. God has given us silence as a tool to transform emotional energy into constructive communication. It turns potentially destructive encounters into opportunities for understanding and connection. Silence also protects your energy. In daily life, we often encounter people who feed on conflict, negativity, or drama. Engaging with them immediately can drain your spirit and cloud your judgment. By practicing silence, you conserve your energy, maintain focus on your purpose, and prevent external disturbances from affecting your inner peace. God wants you to honor the sacred temple of your mind and heart, and silence is one of the most effective ways to do this. It creates a barrier against unnecessary emotional depletion while maintaining your dignity and presence. Another example comes from social media interactions. Often, disrespect or criticism is delivered online, where responses are impulsive and permanent. By choosing silence, pausing before reacting, or not reacting at all, you protect your reputation, maintain your composure, and prevent escalation. This restraint demonstrates wisdom, maturity, and self-respect. Silence allows you to reflect, seek guidance, and act with purpose rather than letting temporary emotion dictate your response. Silence is also a spiritual practice. In many sacred traditions, moments of quiet reflection, prayer, or meditation connect us to God and the divine wisdom within. When faced with disrespect, embracing silence allows you to step into that sacred space, grounding yourself in inner truth rather than reacting to external chaos. It reminds you that your value and peace come not from others' approval or behavior, but from the divine light within you. This connection strengthens your resilience, helping you navigate life with dignity, balance, and insight. Daily life is filled with opportunities to practice this principle. A rude comment from a neighbor, an unfair critique from a coworker, a hurtful remark from a friend. Each of these situations can be a chance to exercise silence. By pausing, observing, and reflecting before responding, you transform a potentially negative encounter into a demonstration of inner strength and spiritual awareness. You honor yourself and maintain your dignity, showing that respect is not demanded, it is embodied. Finally, silence is a teacher. It teaches patience, self-control, and the art of discerning when and how to act. When you cultivate the habit of responding thoughtfully, rather than reacting impulsively, you develop emotional intelligence, spiritual strength, and personal integrity. People begin to recognize that you are not easily swayed by disrespect or provocation. Your calm presence becomes a source of inspiration, reminding others of the power of restraint, awareness, and divine alignment. So, the next time someone disrespects you, pause, take a deep breath, embrace the silence before you speak. Let your heart process the emotion. Let your mind discern the best response, and let your soul remain anchored in peace. In this silence, you reclaim control, preserve your dignity, and allow God's wisdom to guide your actions. Silence is not absence, it is strength. It is a conscious, powerful choice that transforms disrespect into an opportunity for reflection, growth, and inner mastery. When practiced consistently, it elevates not only your interactions with the world, but also your connection with the divine within you.